All my successful lions out there, I'm back. What's good with y'all, man? Coming to you guys today real quick, man. I'm dropping a couple videos today, but I want to ask you guys, where do you think we go when we get up out of here? When we perish? When we no longer here in the physical? Where do you think we go? Now, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so my brain is all here. And I was just thinking a while back, and I said, I'm going to do a video about this if I still feel connected to this thought. And I asked myself, I say, a lot of us, we feel like we've been here before, especially those people who have changed or grew a lot in this one life. Like me, it feels like I've had like 4 lives so far, from being a kid to being an adult, going through street stuff, growing out of that, going through fame, growing out of that, becoming more with the Lord, growing with that. It just, the weight gain, then the weight loss, then the sobriety. It feels like, that's like 7 different lives that I've lived in this one time for me being here. But ever since a kid, I always felt like, look around, you feel like you've been here before. In the Bible it says, God casted Satan down to earth. And I've always felt like we're in shackles down here pretty much. Yes, you're free to maneuver, stuff like that, but overall, a lot of people's minds are shackled. I don't think God wanted us to be so focused on money and stuff like that, but in order to accomplish things and set up your family and live a good life, you have to stay productive and go out and get resources. If not, you're going to be out on the street. I don't think God made it up like that for us to have to do these things. And a lot of smart people are pushing the envelope and the culture, and technology is pushing and pushing and pushing and continuing to grow. So if you not on the wagon, you're just going to fall off. I've spoken to people on the street and homeless people and people that just don't want to follow the direction of the way the world is going, which is fine. That's their choice. But I'd rather have a roof over my head and drive what I want to drive, and have the so-called money and money in the bank and investments and stuff like that. So I'm all set, and I don't have to ask for handouts. I don't want any handouts. You see what I mean? So my perspective of it is a little different, but I feel where they're saying that they don't want to play this game pretty much. But I always felt like this is the devil's playground. Yes, it has some beautiful sights, beautiful things, beautiful people, but it still feels like we're shackled. And this is just a realm that we're in before we reach the real heaven. You know what I mean? Like, earth is just a stop. This is just a test. And how do you guys feel about it? Like, and going back to my thought was, what if everything's a test? Like, say when we perish, I don't want to say the D word, but say when we perish, we go out of these bodies, our soul leaves. Is it too, like, what if we planet hop? What if our soul planet hops and every planet is a test? Like they say, other planets don't have any beings on it or whatever. I beg to differ, okay? And I always ask myself, I say, why we only went to the moon once? They say we have better technology than we had back then, so why haven't we been back to the moon? And the technology that we have, why, if we're the ones paying the taxes for NASA to operate, why can't we see stuff that's out of space, too? Why not travel back to the moon and put up a camera and see in 4K, like see it going up and up, and see us leaving Earth, going to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, why you don't see anything until they actually was hopping around on the moon. You don't see anything. You don't see them leaving Earth. So it's either A, they're lying about that or whatever, but we ain't going to get into that. Say we do have a solar system with planets. What if when we perish, we planet hop? Like right now, like take a look at this. So say heaven is the sun, right? So we start here, and you see how Earth is the third one. What if we planet hopped, like every time we perished? Like we start here, right? And we're going to go back here. But imagine the tests, the 8 different tests is planet hopping. And right now we're on the 3rd level. Have you ever, is that too far gone, or have you guys ever thought about that? Or is that too deep for y'all? All right? So say we start here, right? We start with the sun. This is where we're from, right? This is heaven. Because all the planets revolve around the sun. So say this is heaven right here. This is where God is. And right now we're just on the 3rd level. So when we pass this level, or we perish from this level, game over, we go now to Mars. All right? Then we go to the next one. Then we go to the next one. Down the line. Is that too far off to think? Or could I be on to something? I never really heard anybody else speak about that. But when I was sitting back thinking and looking, I'm like, it might not be too far off, man, because a lot of us feel like we've been here before. Not just in like the 4 different bodies or whatever, 4 different times, but a lot of people feel like we've been here before. And imagine that is the way things go. But through the spirit and through whatever radiation or something, we wake up. Say we perish from Earth, we wake up now, everything is Mars now. We're calling it Mars, but we just don't remember. We have no memory of it. You know what I mean? So I'm anxious to see when I. That's something I'm gonna ask the Lord, man. God willing, man. What was this all a test? Was this Satan's kingdom? Was this like a jail? But now I'm anxious to see, man, that they know that all these planets are there, but they're just there with nobody on it. That doesn't make any type of sense to me. So I just think there's different realms of different planes or planets, you want to call it, and that's where we end up next. Because the highest I've been is 30,000 feet in the airplane, you know. So I don't know what's beyond that. I don't. And if we show more unity and stuff like that, like, yeah, you can see stuff in telescopes and stuff like that, but if we showed more unity as a people, we're the one paying all the taxes that's funding these billion-dollar companies like NASA and stuff like that, we would have a lot more information. Imagine if NASA had a live stream just 24 hours a day. Just a channel, like a channel on cable, just 24 hours a day, and showing us these things. But I think, see, in the video I'm putting out right now, I'm talking about smoking and addictions, and a lot of people, if people were to see this stuff, a lot of things in the world wouldn't be the way it is. Like, I think a lot of wars would end. A lot of people would stop beefing about petty stuff. You know, a lot of people would start showing gratitude to the Most High and stop living the way they're living. That's why I don't think they want to show it, because it's going to show proof of the one we call God, his creations. All right. And, energy never dies. We're all energy. That's why when you rub the carpet and then you touch something, you zap something, we're all energy. Like Albert Einstein said it, everybody says it, we're energy. We're a boast of energy, so energy never dies. We're going to continue to live on. And yes, our family members pass away and we mourn them. But the more knowledge I know, man, I'm mourning them, blessing them, because I'm happy for them that they don't have to live in this, rat race anymore, man. A lot of people don't want to continue to wake up for jobs and, doing this, doing that, and worrying about death around the corner, and if we had a 24-hour surveillance of the outer space activities, I think a lot of people would change for the better. But the powers that be won't let that out, because they want continued chaos. They want people living on the edge. They want people with anxiety, depression, and stuff like that keeps people at a lower state, that they're sheeple and easier to control. But me, I think outside the box. And take a look again before I close out. Take a look again. Imagine if we start here at the sun, and every time we perish, like we started here at the sun, then we just, every time we perish, so-called perish, we planet hop to the end and we return back to the sun. Or each time we return back to the sun, get a download, and then go to the next step, It's not too, if you really think about it, like, you can tweak it, my idea, however you want or whatever, but it's not too far off, to be honest with you. I think some people, if you don't pass the test, you'll return back to Earth. Some people are forever like trapped here until they get it right, before you can go on, So it's deep, but not that deep. I just wanted to see what you guys think about it. All right? All my successful lions out there, stay up, stay shining, stay smiling, and shine on them, man. Shine on them. Until next time, peace.